So I, much like many other people, have been playing Wonderlands for the past month, and I gotta say, it's a really good game. The story is fun, the gameplay is to die for, and the overall vibe of the game just feels better than Borderlands 3. And we all know how Borderlands 3 started, how awful its story was, but how good the gameplay was. Now imagine Borderlands 3's gameplay, but just increased by a wide margin. That and all my general thoughts about Wonderlands is gonna be in a separate video if I ever get around to it. Like, seriously, I had it planned since a week after Wonderlands came out, and I have done nothing to start it. Procrastination 101. But today I want to focus on the brand spanking new patch that was just unleashed to the public. With this patch came quite a few buffs that me personally am a fan of, such as snipers getting a 20% damage buff, increased hero points in a few Twist of Fate backstories, certain barrage spells getting certain buffs, or certain weapons getting specific buffs to their overall gunplay, yada yada yabba dabba do. But with these buffs came quite a lot of nerfs that people are still on the fence about. To many people in the community, these nerfs took the joy and fun that was present in some of these weapons and just smashed it to bits. We're talking about weapon damage decreases, spell cooldown increases, spell count decreases, and much more. And I'm here to talk about my feelings on these nerfs and how I think it'll affect the game going forward. Now, all the items that got nerfed are in the patch notes, which I will link in the description below, since I will not cover them in this video. There's a lot other videos out there that are covering these nerfs, these buffs, and I just don't want to add into it because I want to keep it strictly based on my feelings on how I feel about the nerfs. And besides, I'm not as cool and lit as Moxie or Epic NG or even the almighty Jolts dude, but I will express how I feel about these nerfs taking place. Besides the weapon nerfs affecting quite a few weapons, which practically destroyed some of them for endgame, the one nerf that took place within this patch was the Clawbringer Awe skill nerf. I know I said that I wouldn't be covering the patch notes, but it's important to use the Clawbringer as an example within this video to really get a full view on why this patch is disliked. The nerf that affected the Clawbringer goes as follows. The Awe passive properly scales to the Fatemaker instead of giving a flat rate. Now, what does this mean? Well, let's first go over what the Awe skill does. Awe is a 3-point skill in the Clawbringer skill tree that the player can access after gaining enough skill points and moving down the tree. It's a 5-tier skill, it's something that used to be actually pretty cool. A lot of people, after the nerf, weren't too excited about this change. What does the skill do? Well, the description of Awe states, after dealing fire damage, the Fatemaker gains increased critical hit damage. After dealing lightning damage, the Fatemaker gains increased critical hit chance. I've watched a few videos on this explaining what the patch notes mean, and the general understanding of what this is that instead of the 30% flat rate crit chance being given to the player after dealing lightning damage, it's going to scale to the player's Fatemaker's crit chance, which in turn gives the player a lower crit chance for the Clawbringer before the patch. Once all the Clawbringer mains heard this, they started responding pretty negatively to this change. But why? Well, it also has to do with the hotfix that was implemented on April 8th, 2022, which delivered a slew of pretty nice changes to the game, but also delivered another nerf to the Clawbringer, making it a back-to-back nerf to a already pretty lacking class. Since these two nerfs occurred back-to-back, many have wondered why Gearbox is so hellbent on this class and not much stronger classes, such as, just to name one in particular, the Spellshot. Why are they focused so heavily on this particular class? Well, if I were to give a guess, it's that they probably have something big in store for the Clawbringer, maybe a few buffs to its other skills that are overall underwhelming, or just a flat-out damage bonus or melee bonus. Maybe they're trying to focus something specific towards the Clawbringer. But why not just wait and buff the Clawbringer so that when these nerfs occur, they feel more balanced and fair? And that is a very valid question to ask, and I currently do not have my best guess on it. This nerf really did hit the game hard, as well as the other nerfs, but not as much as this one. And because of this new patch, many people are fearing that Wonderlands will follow the same path that Borderlands 3 did. And, well, we all know that's certainly not a good thing, since Borderlands 3 had a pretty rocky start, middle, and overall end of its life cycle. Although this does make me nervous for the future of the game, I'm still holding my head up high for Wonderlands, as it's continuing to show how much of an improvement it is compared to the other Borderlands titles. I just hope Gearbox knows what they're doing this time, and not just pushing out nerfs to balance the game. Although this patch is full of undesired changes, I still can't bring myself to 100% disliking it. I mean, sure, they bashed a few of my favorite pistols, but they increased a lot of decent spells and lacking SMGs so they can perform way better. All I can say is that this patch needed to wait just a little longer. There are numerous other glitches and bugs that need addressing, as well as other legendary weapons that need buffs. And to shed more light on the Clawbringer, I never played it, so I personally am not affected by its change. But this patch is just the beginning, and we shouldn't be so quick to judge Gearbox on how they are handling this game. There are a lot more patches that will be coming our way, and we should embrace them while they are doing so. I'm not justifying these changes entirely, like the Ruby Spite, my poor boy, but I'm certainly giving these a more broader thought than just game is boring, weapon bad, need to even play Elden Ring. I do think these nerfs are necessary. They just needed to wait a little longer to be implemented so they feel justified and overall right. I will continue to play Wonderlands no matter what, because it is a fantastic game and a genuine improvement of the other titles. And also because it's just so damn fun. And I just hope that you all will too.